Hey everyone, this is Nitro. With it being the start of a new week, I thought I would do another Nitro setup video, especially since Apex Season 2 has just recently started. So, let's begin, as always, with covering the results of last week's dragon farming and joint battles. So, last week was actually okay, first of all, the week before, I ended up with 13 SSRs, which was 11 excluding timeless trials and limited time events. This week, I got 5. That would be 6 with the timeless trial SSR, but I don't think that really counts. So, it's a huge drop in terms of the number of SSRs, but the previous week was just insane luck. That's the only way I can explain it. It's not normal to get 11 SSRs in a single week. So, with that said, let's cover the SSRs that I got, the 5 that I got in the past week. On Monday, I got my second Bloodline Magic Armor, and the big surprise was that the week before, I got another Bloodline Magic Armor. So that makes 2 Bloodline Magic Armors basically within a week. I went, 10 months without getting a single Bloodline Magic Armor, and then suddenly I got 2. So, just goes to show the RNG aspect of this game, right? Tuesday, absolutely nothing. From joint battles, dragon runs, 5 of them, and 4 random accessory boxes. On Wednesday, 4 more runs gave me nothing as well. But Timeless Trial gave me garbage, a holy arc, kind of useless. But more ore isn't bad. Thursday, 5 runs, nothing. Friday, 5 runs, nothing. Although the joint battle did give me a carbon fiber helmet, which I turned into ore again. On Saturday, yet again, nothing. But a world map event gave me a dark crown. And then Sunday, I thought I wouldn't get very many SSRs at all, because at that point I only had 4 SSRs including Timeless Trials. But Sunday, I managed to get 2 in 4 dragon runs. So it kind of made up for the lack of SSRs early on, right? It was an Ulver Staff and a Hydra Bow. So Ulver Staff, I instantly turned into ore. The Hydra Bow, I've temporarily kept for now. So in total, it means I've kept 2 SSRs, the Bloodline Magic Armor and the Hydra Bow, and the other 4 I should say, were all turned into ore. So that was the Dragon Farm results of last week. Now, as to why I actually kept the Hydra's bow is because I'm actually very lacking in the number of bows I have for my characters. I currently only have 2. One is on Zerida, which is a Bloody Melody, and the other one is on, I think, Omega currently, and it's a Windcutter Dagger. So, actually, this is a dagger which offers more attack, less attack, but more skill. So those are the only 2 ranged weapons I have for archers and assassins, so I need to build up more, right? There's currently more and more archers and assassins that's become useful. For example, Zerida is one, right? Omega is another. You might use Narm for you definitely use Narm for Ancient's Call or Ancient's Beckoning, right? So building up a 3rd one wouldn't hurt, especially when there's Olivier that you might use, and Matthew is an archer class one. So yeah, having another bow to give one of these characters will be very useful. So, other than the new gear, what has changed with my existing gear is I've downgraded Ledin. Ledin has lost his Oath of Justice, and I've replaced it with a Seal Guardian. The only reason is because the Seal Guardian gives 5% defense, and I currently have one. I didn't want to rebuild a piece of gear for Ledin in this case. For example, if I build an Oath Sword for him, it could provide 10% defense, right? But then I'd have to build an SSR from scratch, and I had the Seal Guardian sitting here doing absolutely nothing ever since Bernhardt and Elwyn have changed equipment, right? Bernhardt now has a balanced blade, and Elwyn has switched to a Lancer class which cannot use swords. So that is why I just gave Ledin that Seal Guardian that no one was using. In fact, I still have yet another Seal Guardian, which is on Sonya, and she doesn't even have a complete gear set. It just sits on her as well. So it just made sense to move that piece of equipment to Ledin. Yes, Ledin is now losing 3% defense and 8% magic defense, but as long as Ledin can still one-shot things, I'm okay with that. More importantly, that Oath of Justice has now gone over to my Listel. So now she has an Oath of Justice, which will buff her, stats and utility, which is more important in my opinion, because I use it for PvP and Ancient's Call and so on. So that was the biggest gear change that I've made this past week. Other than that, in terms of shard farming for characters, well, because this week gives us 18 Gate of Fate runs rather than the usual 9, due to the event that's running for the week, the event is the Legendary Gate, right? I am currently farming 18 shards, and this distribution is currently 4 into Luna, 3 into Juggler, 3 into Landius, right? And then 3 into my Omega, who I recently got, 3 into Yulia, who I also recently got, and then finally I'm putting 2 more shards into Rachel. I may swap the Rachel and Yulia shards. And the reason for that is because I realized I very, very much need to build up my Rachel to 5 stars. Right? At 5 stars, her ability to heal allies and so on is increased to 3 blocks, which will be very, very useful for Ancient's Call. Especially for the currently running Ancient's Call fight, Nidhogg. So, once again, I'm changing my plans in terms of my characters to build, right? Rachel has increased in priority to at least 5 stars, and I am pushing Yulia down my priority list. In large part because I only got a single copy of Yulia. I am not going to have Yulia complete for Season 2 of Apex Arena, right? There's just not enough time for me to complete her. If we just look at it quickly, there's 65 days to the ranked mode of Apex Arena. So 65 times 3 gives you 195 shards in total, right? So if I add 195 shards to my current Yulia, it's 26, that only gives me 221 shards in total. You need 300 shards to bring her to 6 stars. So there's no way my Yulia will be complete for this Apex season, so I might as well not choose to grind her up and just have her ready for Season 3 instead. Yeah. Unless I decide to draw some more on this banner to try to get her another copy, it's just not happening. But when I think about it, I'd much rather have the Yu Yu Hakusho characters guaranteed than try to draw for another Yulia copy. So basically what I'm more or less deciding is to a certain extent, I am giving up on Season 2 of Apex Arena for better performance in Season 3. Right? My goal primarily is to get into the top 256, and if I get eliminated in that round, that's perfectly okay. Right? There's no need for me to aim for top 32 the way I managed to get to with a lot of luck this season. So, that is my plans for Season 2. Season 2 will be my throwaway season of Apex Arena, more or less. So, with the shard farming covered, when the shard farming goes back down to 9 runs per day instead of 18, I'm probably going to finish up with, go back to focusing on Luna, Landius, and Juggler, right? Those will be the 3 I'll probably focus on. I might do Landius, Luna, and Omega, just to get Omega up to 5 stars first, and then go back to, and then once Luna is done, I can do Landius, Juggler, and Omega, right? And so Omega's priority is to get him to 5 stars. I'm probably going to aim for Omega up to 6 stars, right? If I'm going to use him, I might as well have him at 6 stars, just in case he might help carry me through the Apex playoffs. but we'll see. So, more characters to grind as a result. Don't know how I'm going to get all my characters that I want upgraded, as usual. But, especially since I need to grind up Rachel. At least I need to get her up to 5 stars. So that's another character I have to grind up. So, yeah, running into some troubles lately with regards to shards. So, other than that though, in terms of, let's see, in terms of the Trinity vouchers, I have to mention, I accidentally did 2 10 draws on this banner after I stopped. That's why instead of having 50 Trinity vouchers on hand right now, I have 48. So I did pick up, I guess, 18 vouchers since I did those 20 draws. But yeah, it was a waste. The reason that happened was because I meant to draw here on Friendship voucher summons, and then I did 2 of them on Saviors on the Sword instead. The crazy thing was I actually did get an SSR from those 2 summons. The disappointing thing is it was an SSR I had at 6 stars already. I got a copy of Leon. So, well, I guess the copy of Leon gives me a lot more memory shards at least. You can see here, right? I have crazy number of duplicates of characters, the SRs especially, which was what happened when I drew on the banner. And I also got 50 Leon shards. So I'm going to turn all of this into memory essence so that for the next 2 months at least, I can pick up 2 more runestones, right? So in 6 days, I can pick up a runestone, and then in January, I can pick up yet another runestone here. So that pretty much means I should be okay on runestones, especially since Honor will give me a runestone every month. The guild store will give me a runestone every month. So I'm going to get 3 runestones for December, and then January I'll get another 3. Potentially 4 if I manage to draw one on the Anarchy Lotto that runs every month. I doubt it, but you never know, right? So, those 3 additional runestones will give me 4 runestones in total, since I have 1 on hand right now. And 2 of them are absolutely going to go into Omega right away. I'm not going to build up Yulia until she's 6 stars, so I don't have to waste runestones on her at this time. So there's no reason to waste those 2. So the other 2 runestones, who I'm going to use them on, I'll have to choose between, let's say, Rachel, Shaphaniel, which is probably a pass because my Shaphaniel is only 5 stars rather than 6 stars, but it's possible. And the other option would be to split up those runestones and, let's say, for example, put 1 into Liana so she has her gospel skill, and then put the other 1 in another character, or save it up for January. So, haven't quite decided. You can see there's a few choices I have right now, but I'll think about it this weekend for when I do some more Apex matches, and I'll share the results on Monday. So, other than that, I'm actually realizing that my Apex team has run into some problems. As always, it does incredibly well at low tiers, but what I'm realizing is the new addition of that new enchant system has changed things up like crazy. For example, Leonhardt can potentially get around plus 100 attack, over a plus 100 attack, right? Because Arena Mastery can give a potentially plus 60 attack right here. And then the other, if you stack attack on every single other stat, right? This should be like roughly 30 attack, this should be like 25 attack. These ones should be around 10 each. 10 and then I think like 15. So you can definitely get over 100 additional attack on your heroes if you manage to get enough rolls on them. And that is creating ridiculously powerful Leonhardt in Apex Arena right now. The Leonhardt at 6 stars using Fusion Dark Emperor Sword and following it up with a single second AoE attack such as Zero Storm or Ethereal Fire Machete is team wiping very often. So it means I really need to build up my healers right now. Long story short, my current healers I currently swap between 5 of them. I only bring 4, but I have 5 that I'm rotating amongst, which are Tiaris, Iris, Chloe, Liana, and Imelda. The only one who can really survive at this time is Liana. So I need to basically narrow down my focus from these 5 to 4 and start enchanting them up like crazy, because they're going to need hit point enchants in like mad in order to survive that Leonhardt strike now. And it clearly means that I'm going to have to actually finalize their heart bonds too. So there's now, I guess, a real struggle in terms of resources, where I'm struggling to choose between upgrading the heroes for PvE, that is Ancient Beckoning, and upgrading the heroes for PvP, which is Apex Arena. So, more troubles appearing. So it may be that I'm going to do Apex early, but I'm not going to have that much success early on, and I will, as usual, get into Langrisser rank near the end of the season. That's probably what is going to happen yet again, unfortunately. With that said, I am currently in Gold 3, so there's nothing to complain about that so far. Because in terms of the tiers, right, Gold 3 does get a decent amount of resources, right? I get at least 8 rare enchant gift packs, as well as 5 Arena Mastery Stone Epic gift packs, right? Which is 25 Mastery Stones. Yes, Langrisser rank gets 40 as compared to my 25, but if I can't advance, I can't advance. It's that simple. So clearly, what is really hurting me is the lack of 6-star characters in general. In any case, though, the other thing I should mention is I used up all of my Apex Arena rewards for this week. So that was, I used 40 SSR scrolls as well as all those the new enchant system enchants. And I'm now broke. I have 200k gold. For the 40 SSR scrolls, shockingly, I didn't really manage to roll anything good. I mean, yeah, you can see an Oath of Justice with 3% magic defense and 5% hit points. Like, I really didn't roll anything good. It was very unfortunate. So those scrolls, I used 40 scrolls, didn't get anything good. Sometimes it happens. Like, generally speaking, what I considered good for, let's say, healers would be anything that gives hit point percentage and a decent amount of int, right? A balanced stat increase. I did roll a few times on TRS to try to get a decent teddy bear enchant. This was the best I got. 70 hit points as opposed to a hit point percentage increase and 7% int increase. So kind of disappointing. So, in other words, my current state is once again transitioning up for Apex Arena. I feel like I'm in this state yet again. And but my primary focus will be building up the characters for Ancient Skull. I think that's more important. Making sure I get at least A, if not A+, rank for every single battle. If I don't get S rank, so be it. But at the very least, I need to get A, if not A+, right? So, yeah. So we'll see how it goes. And that's everything I want to say in this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. And on that note, Nitro out.